One, two, three, test one, two, three. Let's see how everything's going. I think we are good to go. All right. Hey, everyone. Happy Tuesday here. Another bad day for the markets as far as I'm concerned. Bitcoin coming down, NASDAQ coming down, SPY coming down, Dow Jones coming down, gold coming down, dollar index going up, oil coming down. It's definitely not been the best circumstances here. I know we talked about the market most likely continuing to come down here. But when we actually watch it happen, of course, it's never the most fun thing here. So, again, we'll be talking about that here today. This will be a little bit more of a shorter stream just because I thought the debate started like an hour ago and I was going to watch it, then stream afterwards. But it turns out the debate starts in like 45 minutes. So, probably going to have a short stream here. We'll be talking about the basics. If you guys have any questions, I'll be talking about that. And then, of course, afterwards, what I'll do is I'll probably watch the debate here. And then I think I'm going to go to the lounge for a little bit, relax after like a long day of working on some new content for you guys. And then when I get back, maybe around, midnight to 1 o'clock, I'll do another stream. And that one will be a little bit more relaxed, and we'll kind of see which way Bitcoin's going overnight. So a lot of stuff going on. And hey, Mr. Mime, happy to see my man. Hope you're doing very, very well. I hope you're doing better than Bitcoin is right now, right? Because Bitcoin is definitely not doing what we want it to be doing here. So let's go over here to the price action, of course. Right now, you can see the last couple of days, Bitcoin has been coming down. We talked about this after the first day, looking at that 20-week moving average. When we're dealing with that 20-week moving average, things typically do get pretty rough for us. And if we go over here and check it out in the weekly chart, you can see how we already have the beginning of a very long candle for a very bearish week ahead. Not good at all. But like I said before, what we're really focusing on here before we get too excited and bullish is we are looking for the MACD to turn green right here. It is close. It is very close. If we keep on this path for a couple more weeks, or even this week, we have an opportunity if we manage to bounce back up a little more. We can have that green MACD, which will really get everybody geared up for a larger move. And by a larger move, I do mean this breakout here above this downward slope, the lower highs here. Then once we break out, we should be able to keep on going higher and higher up to 73,000 to kind of retest that all-time high. And then go much higher, of course, up to like, 80, 90, 100,000, those next big goals that we all have for Bitcoin here. But until that happens, I'm still, the word I've been saying is like cautiously optimistic. Or if I'm more precise, that, that neutral bullish, that neutral bearish theme I've been talking about. Right now on the daily chart, I'm definitely more bearish here, just because we're breaking down a little bit. But in the long term here, I'm still pretty optimistic that Bitcoin can start making some good moves. And hey, Maxie, happy to see you. And hey, Barry, going further down, way too much open interest still in the system. All leveraged longs. There's always going to be some leveraged longs in this market right now, especially because everybody's getting really hyped up. I just think there's too many variables right now. And, when we were talking about this literally just last week, we were talking about a few things as far as, hey, you got to be careful because the technicals don't say we're green just yet as far as all go ahead, all-time highs, crazy big moves and stuff like that. Here, I'm going to give Loki a treat because he's like sniffing my arm and he's been outside for a while, so he has that really cold nose. So, yeah, you should be a good boy. Yo, bujo. Okay, there you go. Good boy. Yeah, cold nose. Yeah. But we're just still not there. And I hate being repetitive about all this because we've been looking at the daily charts mostly, and we've been following those daily MACDs. The weekly MACD is still very important as far as I'm concerned, and I know I've been maybe not going along with the majority of opinions out there just yet as far as other crypto influencers and stuff like that. I think for me, I'd rather just wait for that confirmation so I don't have to worry so much about doing those really crazy swing trades. That's why the swing trades we're doing right now, they're all small entry-level positions. So when they do go 5, 6, 7% down, we're not ultimately freaking out about that type of stuff. But yeah, for right now, I definitely just want to see that weekly chart start to turn over. That's what we're looking for. And at the end of the day here, as we approach the next couple weeks, as we go through October here, and I think we'll maybe do more of a formal October video tomorrow. But short term, I know I just put it up here and took it off, but we just want to keep this uptrend going. We want to have that breakout. If we can get that, I think we're going to be in good spirits here. Typically, October is a decent month for Bitcoin, as a lot of you guys know, but just because it's typically a good month doesn't always mean it's going to be a great month. So right now, big goal. Let's just see if we can hold some of these support levels and see what happens next. And we see if we can actually get some bullishness on this MACD on the weekly chart. As far as the 12-day, the 12-day has been bearish for a while here since, June 17th. Nothing new there. Not even the stochastic and RSI have turned back to being positive. We've had some blips right here for the stochastic over here. Doesn't really do all too much for me, but the MACD may open up my eyes a little bit. But again, just like the weeklies, they're not there yet. The daily is, I think, where we've had these really good signals coming to us and saying, hey, I know yesterday when I was telling you guys why I thought we would have a bearish day today, which was pretty bearish here, really bearish for altcoins actually. I was showing you guys what happens typically when we have those MACD crossovers here after we make these nice little highs, and typically it's not a really good experience for us here. I guess that started right here. So looks like history is repeating itself quite a bit, and actually like Barry was talking about, you typically find that there's a little bit too many over leveraged positions at these high points because they do get into some of those FOMO territories, which is why typically this is why I think it's okay to buy over here, sell right here. And primarily what I think we would do this time, which I liked a little bit more, is I put out that video I think it was last week for members, and I was talking about, remember to scale out. It's okay to scale out, move up those stop losses, because if we do have something of a larger drop, because again, we are at these levels of resistance, you're not going to feel bad about losing money or anything like that, because you're still going to be walking away with a decent amount of profit. I still think that is the case to be made right now. And again, until that weekly chart gives us some liquid gold here, so to speak, we do have to just honor the technicals. I've seen a lot of investors out there, I'm friends with a lot of investors. Their positions have been going all over the fucking place, and they've been reduced to a lot more day trading, I think, because those swing trades have been a little bit more irrational. And that's one of the reasons I didn't really do too much trading last night. I think when I left off, I told you guys the only thing I would be doing is if you guys were looking for a day trade, you guys were basically watching, was this 7 o'clock? Yeah. You were watching for this breakout right there, and I told you guys something that aggressive traders are buying right here, right? That was the day trade. It barely broke back up here to the support level. I mean, I don't even think it broke out. Got rejected here, then it came smashing down. And the reason for that was there was a number of things today. If you guys watched the video I put out this afternoon, jobs report, basically, manufacturing data, Israel-Iran conflict, and then I believe we also have the VP debate coming out later on tonight. All of that stuff is going to lead to a little bit instability. But, you go to CNBC or CoinDesk, all of this is going to be talking about how Bitcoin's coming down. But the big thing is, Bitcoin tumbles back to 60,000 level as tensions in the Middle East heighten. This is still going to lead to some bearishness ahead, especially because I don't know if Israel is going to go with the scalpel approach like they did with the walkie-talkies and stuff and just like start blowing up random people, or if they're going to go with the like, hey, let's bomb the shit out of Iran's nuclear facilities. Let's bomb them and bomb them good. Both are going to have impacts. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit different here. So we'll keep an eye on it as always here. Whether you guys are looking at CoinDesk or CNBC, they both pretty much put out the same stuff, right? The S&P 500 and the NASDAQ also fell on a report that Iran was preparing an imminent missile attack on Israel. I don't know if you guys have actually seen the footage here. Let me see if I can go over here from this point of view to show you guys. And hey, Villa, happy to see you. Bitcoin Realist, happy to see you as well. Let's see. Vikron, and there we go. Okay. Big support right there. If this breaks, man, it can really go lower. He's saying 60,600 is the support level. I mean, we went down below that quite a bit, but we bounced off at least, so it wasn't too important. Yeah, we held. That's all that matters right there. Could be a little bit of liquidity grab. This is the 15-minute chart. Typically, if I see us break out right here, I'd be buying. That's my day trading strategy. You guys know it by now. We've had a pretty big enough move where I think I can do it. This wasn't big enough for me right here, and you see what happened. We bounced off, and we just coming down. This has been pretty large move, and I think we could start buying right here. This one didn't even pan out too well. Might have to be a little bit more careful and a buy right here, stop loss right there, real tight stuff. But I'm not doing it tonight because I'm going to be watching that debate. But if you go over here to explore, there was a couple big news stories today. The big one for me was John Amos. Oh, there it is right here. Yeah, that guy, freaking legend in acting. WWE, of course, takes over the day at a certain point. I swear that WWE basically just pays for the #1 spot. I don't think they actually get enough traffic to take it away, because Iran and Israel, like, you see comments happening every few seconds. You're not going to see unlimited amounts of WWE content. I think WWE actually pays Twitter or, X for this. I don't think they're actually the #1 spot. That being said here, go over here to Iran. Just look to see what happened today. What's this? I'm total shocked that, yeah. Right. And you just see, lots of shit going on, bombs going off, all this type of stuff here. A crazy day, right? Just a crazy day. We all know this was a crazy day. I expect it's going to get more crazy as time goes on. And we're just kind of waiting to see what happens with Israel, because right now, even the former prime ministers and stuff like that of Israel are saying, we got to bomb the shit out of them for this. I'm like, damn. So, will they actually bomb? Will they do precision bombing? What are they going to do? I don't know. But a lot of what we saw here, if I go over to the Israel one, you saw a lot of footage and a lot of bombs going off here, and that's not what you want to see. Oh, and yeah, somebody was getting shot over here as well. But yeah, so a lot of stuff going on. A lot of drama out there in the world. I mean, just imagine you're like just chilling out and you see that shit coming down to you. I mean, boom, 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 boom. You've seen stuff get intercepted a little bit, but that's not enough stuff being intercepted. The news, I think, said when that thing hits, it has like a 300-meter radius, so like you're going to feel the impact 300 meters away. I doubt you're going to get like too injured unless you're like right next to it. But again, I don't know warfare. I don't know weapons and shit like that. So definitely a little bit more interesting here. But yeah, so you're going to see a lot of stuff. I don't know who the heck that is, but yeah, you're going to see a lot of politics around it, all that good stuff here. Not so much about Bitcoin today, to be honest. Again, X's algorithm is shit, and I'll just die on that hill for now until they fix it. Starbucks accepts Bitcoin. I mean, it's kind of weird that they're paying another phone instead of paying the Bitcoin thing. But I wouldn't want to pay. I don't want to give my Bitcoin away. I just kind of want to hoard it. But that's me. Some technical analysis here from 9 minutes ago. 21-day moving average and 50-day moving average are above the 200. If the price action hops on the 200-day moving average, we can get some momentum here. It's going to be rough at this point. People who held Bitcoin at 15K in 2022, yeah, it's been one of those days, sure. All right. But yeah, that's kind of the story of Bitcoin right now. I think people might be looking at something of a day trade right here to go long. Stop loss, basically. You have an option of 60,365 or 60,630, basically. That's the day trade of the day here, guys. There's not really much going on. Is it an aggressive day trade? Sure. But you go over here to the hourly chart, still bearish here, but slowing down. Momentum is peaking up. 2 hours still coming, but again, slowing down this, we're looking at some potential plays. For me, 12-hour, we're right underneath some levels of resistance, so we can pop up a little bit. But that bearishness typically continues on here, especially when we look at that MACD. Every time we kind of go down that path, it does take us a few days, maybe even a couple weeks before we bottom out, right? MACD over here took about a week. MACD right here took us about a week. I'm being loose with that. MACD over here took us about a week. Now 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We had a MACD turnover right here that did nothing. That was pretty interesting, actually. Interesting. We didn't really break out, but we didn't keep on going down. So just keep in mind that. Same with the MACD here. One day, didn't work out. The MACD here, about a couple weeks. MACD here came down in a few days. We're still looking pretty bearish here. I'm just hoping that we can try to hold on. We tried to do a move, like I said before earlier today, where we did pop up a little bit. And it looks something more like this, where we closed down here for the day, bounced up. That was the wick over here. Then we just can't slam back down. You'd basically be trying to play the same type of move. I wouldn't be going into any swing trades out of this unless you guys are really amped up about a particular coin. Maybe that coin has different technicals. Like if you go over here to the daily chart, one of the tokens that's doing a little bit better is like WIF, I believe. No, not WIF. Oh, Bonk. Excuse me, Bonk. Bonk hasn't actually had that big breakdown moment yet, which has been kind of interesting. just so you guys know. But yeah, so that's kind of stuff going on right now. There we go. Let me push this back up here and let me get a bonk very fast. And then let me get that out of there here. And we can kind of see if Bitcoin does make that play. There you go. Let me make sure I'm not missing anybody's questions or whatnot. Immediately I saw the 1 day selling. I checked it down to 15 million and then I hit my target price 100%. Nice. It's always going to make some profits. Looking like time to load up on some bags and hold for the next few months. It might be that way. My big concern right now, and you guys know I tend to overthink this stuff because all I'm doing is kind of reading news most of the day, is right now we have that port strike going on, and that spooks me a lot because if that goes on for too long, that could really push us into a recession. And I'm hoping, so far, I think we can beat a recession, hopefully. But we're going to have to see Jerome Powell be more aggressive with rate cuts here. So, excuse me, I'm burping because I've been drinking so much water. Over the last couple days, I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, forgive me, my mind's forgetful right now. We were talking about, let me turn on this music actually. Got that Succession music because we're all making money. We were talking about Jerome Powell and how he wanted to do possibly 2 more rate cuts this year, and people are talking about it and things like that, and people are saying it might be another 225s, and those 225s equal out to another 50 basis point cut. What I thought was going to happen here was that he might do a 25 basis point cut next and then be forced to do another 50 afterwards after he realizes how fast things are slowing down. I'm wondering if he does another 50 the next time around, and then the last one of the year, he only does a 25 basis point cut. For now, I'm sticking to my original one where it's 25.50 because I think it takes him too long to really understand what the data is telling him because he's like, things can't be that bad. Things really can't be that bad. But maybe he can prove me wrong. But yeah, I am a little bit more concerned about that. That's not something that's going to affect us this week, next week, or even the week after. I think it will have a longer effect if this goes on for maybe more than 2 weeks. I can see the damage really starting to hit us towards like December going into 2025. I think that's where most of the pain would be felt. So I'm hoping that everything continues on, and I'm hoping because of some of this bad news that we're getting as far as the world kind of freaking out and that type of stuff. I'll tell you about one more thing here as well. I'm hoping that we can all, or the Fed can understand that, hey, we need a little bit of juice here because things are getting a little bit unstable. Now, if I go to Yemen maps, this was something I was learning while watching some CNBC today and watching some, or I guess reading some articles about what's going on with the ports. And so you guys know Yemen is over here. There's some rebels over here shooting ships in this area as they try to go to Cairo to go through the Suez Canal and get into Europe, right? India, Europe, nice easy trip. You don't really want to go all the way around here. Shit, even the sailors back in the old days were like, fuck this area. We want to just go, whoop. You know, they couldn't really, but they had to. Now, that being said, apparently the majority of cargo that goes from India over here, or China, or let me just put it this way. You know, most of the cargo that would go from here in China all the way over here or India into Europe, most of it is being diverted, right? And not going into the strait, and it's all going pushed around here. I thought it was just a little bit. Apparently, the majority of ships that would be passing through this area, they are not going through this area. The news, in my opinion, hasn't adequately like told us that. As far as I'm concerned, it's all like, you know, the main news sources, like the ABC News, CBS News. We've pretty much just said, hey, fuck it, we're not going to go through here. And that's causing more ships that are needed, right? If it takes a few months for a ship to get from China over here all the way through here, right? That means that ship can go back and there's a delivery happening every 6 months, 3 months there, 3 months back, you know, 6 months basically. But if they can't go through here and they have to go through Africa, or excuse me, around Africa, well, that means that that 3 month trip might have turned into 6 months. So that means there's only trips happening every 12 months, which means they need more ships to keep everything flowing because they can't have a shipment every 12 months. They need to keep on sending stuff out left and right, left and right, left and right. And so because of that, a lot of ships are busy doing that route right now, which means that the ships that would normally not be going here, there's not enough ships to kind of take up the slack from China to go from China over to the West Coast to kind of keep us going here, because the East Coast is pretty much shut down at this point. And I don't care if you support unions, you don't like them, you want them to get back to work, you want them to get I think they're looking for like a 70% pay rise. All good. Love you guys. Choose whatever you want to do. You're all beautiful in your own way. But that's going to cause some chaos over here. And the Canadians definitely don't have the port infrastructure to take all that shit over there. Mexico don't have that infrastructure to take everything out here. West Coast doesn't have all the infrastructure to fix all that type of stuff. And, of course, there is some drought concerns down here in Panama with the Panama Canal. So a whole bunch of shit is just not going our way. And then you sprinkle in some Middle East conflict, some wars going on in Ukraine. It's just not a good time for the world right now. I think a lot of us thought like after COVID, things would calm down, everything would get back to normal as far as the world. Sure, there'd be tensions, but nothing ever crazy would happen. Yeah, the world has been a dumpster fire the last few years, and we may get out of it eventually, but it seems like it's going to be a lot of work. So what I wanted to show you guys right here is Suez Canal shipping drops. And this is Sea Tried Maritime News. I love these little, I've told you guys before, but I love these little things, right? Like these little websites, because not many people read them, but man, is the information in here 10 times better than anything you're going to get at CNBC, because these are the people who have all the information. These people have all the connections within the industry. And so what you're seeing here is Suez Canal revenue drops by almost half due to Red Sea crisis. The revenue of Egypt's Suez Canal has declined by almost half this year following attacks on shipping in the Red Sea by the Houthi, which have seen many vessels divert to via the Cape of Good Hope, that's around Africa. But yeah, so data released this week for last month shows that revenues of the Suez Canal dropped by 64.3% to approximately $337.8 million compared to $648 million recorded in May of 2023, right? So year over year, they're down about 64.3%. That is crazy, because that is the easiest way to get from China or India over into Europe, but they can't take the easy way because nobody wants to bomb the shit out of those rebels down there. And there was that 15-minute breakout, which is a little bit more of an aggressive play. So that stuff is in the back of my head. Am I still buying and dollar cost averaging? You bet I am. But man, I'm just hoping this stuff can get fixed. And maybe it doesn't get fixed until after the election. You know what I mean? Maybe we just have to wait a little bit longer. So far, if we're going after October, I don't think we have month to date here, but the monthly chart so far is looking like that for October. Not a good start. Now, this is October 1st, so we'll see. Usually the first of the month does have a pretty crazy wick. I think that's just because what we've been seeing here, or not the beginning of the month, but we usually have some pretty crazy wicks, and you can see that on the daily charts. You can see that on the monthly charts so far here. Huge wicks for September, huge wicks for October, huge wicks for July. We may just go back into that. A lot of big moves have happened, but not much has changed. I think what I'd like to see for now is at the end of October, we close above September's closing price. I think that would get us back on course to where we need to go. I think we can definitely do it. Let's just hope the world isn't burning around us at that point in time. Because ever since we kind of peaked out over here back in March and April, the market has just been volatile. A lot of crazy swings happening from month to month. But you've ultimately been seeing a lot of lower highs on some of these wicks until September. So I think September gave us the opportunity to have a pretty good October. And again, we don't really talk about this too much because it doesn't really mean too much in my opinion. But here is the monthly MACD here. It is going to turn negative by like December or January if we're not careful here. Last time it turned negative, we really didn't have much of an impact for a few months, but the momentum continued to come down, which I do think was important. But this was also during, rate hikes and stuff like that. Go back over here. MACD turnover right here did have an impact, I would say. There was I got kind of bumpy around here, but again, it's not something I look at too much, but something that's not even important in my view, but something I wanted to talk about nonetheless here. There we go. Push that over. Short term, this does feel like a bottom. Yeah, it does feel like a little bit of a bottom right now for traders if they want to do a day trade. And hey, Wilder, happy to see you, my man. It was literally Iran, Israel that dumped us. It'll happen, man. I mean, I've been talking about it, but it's not like I can call out exactly when it's going to happen. Ask anybody in here. Basically, I just say keep in the back of your mind. You know, it's a wild card. Just keep it in the back, and then, you know, do what you can with it. Usually, it just makes me more cautious if anything like that. Hey, should I go for a short on Bitcoin? Right now, no, I wouldn't be doing it. The way I was looking at this was more of a daily chart. So when we had the first signal over here, or was that yesterday over here, talking about, hey, man, like this looks like we want to go bearish. That's the time I would have opened up something more of a short here. I'm not even shorting anything right now. Yesterday, I closed most of my shorts that I had, which weren't really many because it was just like mostly me shorting Sheeb because Sheeb really comes down hard after it makes a really good pop, and Sheeb is just really predictable like that. But I'm looking for the 4-hour chart right now to give me a good opportunity to buy. That's kind of what I'm looking for. The 4-hour chart gave you a sell signal over here, but again, I wouldn't be taking that because the daily MACD was still good. I've been really doing some day trading with the MACDs over here on the 1-hour chart. I think that's been a little bit more productive for me. But again, the only short-term holds. Like you can see the MACD turned red right here. We went all the way to here. I wouldn't even be holding all the way. I'd be like, you know, open a short here, sell here. When we start doing here, open a short right here, probably sell right around here, even though it went long, you know, shorter. Because you're just looking for some of these old support levels, like right there. See how we kind of hit that right there? That's what I'm doing right now. I'm not even doing any crazy shorts. There we go. But for me, I'm not doing any shorts. I'm not really doing much trading right now. I'm just kind of patiently watching this market. I think if you really want to make some money at this point in time, you're going to need a little bit more leverage to really carry you on through. And that leverage is going to be a little bit more risky than normal, of course, because again, there's geopolitical things causing some chaos. And hey, Walter, happy to see you. I think I already said that, but if I didn't, happy to see you again. Markets might be overreacting for sure, but maybe this is just the start of a black swan event. You know, it could be. The world is just so fucked up right now. You know, we got this debate coming up. It'll happen in about 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, I'll end the stream here, and then I'll come back on later tonight. And I may even do a stream, or maybe I'll just do a stream while I'm at the cigar lounge and just talk with you guys. I don't expect a lot of people to be at the cigar lounge on a Tuesday night, so I might just be alone outside, and I'll talk with you guys. Got to bring my jacket to stay warm, but I'll talk to you guys while I'm smoking cigars for like an hour. And we might not talk too much about charts beyond what I can just like talk about in my head, basically. Like, you know, I can say, hey, we're talking like everything we talk about here, but just without the charts in front of me. But we can talk about all the instability in the world. We can go on it for a while. Yeah, but that's what I'll try to do. I'll try to find my gimbal as well. Maybe it's charged up. Hopefully it is, so I can just kind of have it hold. Or, you know what, I'll just get a glass of water and I'll just have the phone up against the glass of water and I'll bring my mic and stuff. But yeah, so, you know, this is going to be the biggest news, I think, of the day. But it really isn't the biggest news of the day, if that makes sense, because of everything going on. But yeah, it's definitely a little bit more curious. And as far as Black Swan events, you know what I mean? Like, I've never seen America. As far as conservatives and Democrats, the roles are reversing here a little bit that we haven't really seen. Typically, Republicans were more of the military industrial complex type of supporters, right? And I think you find those older Republicans, like the McConnell type, still in that camp. But Democrats have like fully done a 180, and they've just curled right back into that complex as well. And you have a few that don't like in the Democratic Party right now, but I feel like that because they're getting so much money from the government right now, they, of course, will put some of that back into lobbying to help out those who are voting on their behalf. And if they were looking for even more money, I mean, the Middle East would be the way to go. We're used to giving a shit ton of stuff out there. I don't know. I just, military industrial complex. Democrats are all for it now. Republican, like the Trump base, is pretty much opposed to it now. But I mean, when I was a kid, at least, before the Trump years, I would say, I thought of the Republicans as the pro military party that wanted to give a bunch of money to the military industrial complex that would design a bunch of wars and shit like that. Now it seems like it's flipped, and it's so curious about how it flipped, right? But I think right now, I have no idea about that type of stuff. I'm just, we'll be in some chaotic times for a while, right? And hey, Virkman, happy to see you, my man. Thanks, Whitman. Your MACD settings you posted last time were awesome and actually helped me do a lot. Hey, dude, I'm happy about that. I always have to show you guys the MACD settings and how they work and stuff like that. It's just that you have to put the puzzle pieces together. That's the one thing that doesn't really work out too much with streamers like me or anybody else out there. You kind of have to have a few different charts open up. You can have different monitors opened up, and you can be looking at different things that we can get a more broad understanding of what's happening. If you're only looking at one chart, then you kind of get confused when the momentum doesn't go the way you think it is. Do I think we're going to see 57K? I'd say there's a good chance we see 57K by the end of this week, yeah. Especially if we can't find something to really pop us back up here. I don't know if there's going to be many more catalysts. Maybe Friday we could probably get a catalyst that sends us low if there's some bad economic data. My hope here, though, is because this was mostly caused by the Iran-Israel battle thing, we may see something again of one of those inorganic-looking moves, where we just start popping up out of nowhere, and we start having more volatility. It's hard to kind of bank on those types of moves, so yeah, I'd still be bearish at this point, along with the fact that the weekly chart still isn't bullish. And it's been months, guys. It's been months, and I felt so bad saying I'm not fully bullish yet. I'm not fully bullish yet. I'm not fully bullish yet. And then when we finally got this last move, I'm like, oh my god, I could be about to be bullish here, guys. Let's just wait. If we hold up these levels, we can do really well, And then Iran has to go pew pew, drop some bombs and shit. I think it was like 300 ballistic missiles. It was a lot. That can really put some pressure on us, and we had that downward pressure, but it just made it so much worse, right? See, no, I'm not going to be watching the debate. I'm going to go smoke some cigars, and I'll be watching the debate at the cigar lounge. I thought about watching the debate with you guys, but man, I just don't think it's going to be that actual good. And one of my friends got a strike for doing the last debate, which we were, no, we didn't watch the last debate together. But yeah, one of my friends got a strike on his channel for doing the last debate, so I'm kind of spooked out. And the reason I'm kind of spooked about it, because we did I didn't do any of the debates, actually. I do mostly Fed press conferences. I think it was because he had the commercials playing and stuff like that. Because I see some channels don't, like Kevin didn't get a strike on his channel. Todd, whatever his name is, didn't get a strike on his channel. But anyway, no, I'm not going to be watching it. If I get a strike on my channel, they take off my ability to stream for a while, which means my 24/7 stream would also be cut for a while. So I don't want that to happen. So I don't want to take that risk. The Fed meetings are enough for me. I would encourage you guys to watch it if that's what you guys want to do. It's on CBS in a few minutes, and I believe you can just watch it on the CBS YouTube account that they have. They're probably talking about some stuff right now, Not just the Port Boeing maybe selling stock due to the machinist striking. Honestly, if I was Boeing, I'd be doing the same thing. If Boeing wants to really fix this, because it's going to be more chaotic for them in the future, they should just give the union whatever they want, and then get ready for a mass sell some stock, go into some hardship for a while, and then basically move a shit ton of jobs down south where labor is cheaper. Just make that move. It's going to be hard. It's going to be expensive. It's going to be very expensive. But if you don't want to have to keep on doing and paying all these people a lot of money, which Boeing doesn't feel like they're worth, I would say, yeah, I'd pay them just because, again, Seattle's a fucking expensive place to live. They should just accept the demands, get the fuck out of town, and be like, hey, man, we've appreciated you, Boeing. We appreciate you, Seattle, for a long time. We feel like we just can't afford your workforce anymore. We're going to start the moving process. Just go through that, right? But they're playing hardball, and from my opinion, Boeing has been very stupid during these negotiations. This is our best and final offer. Take it or leave it. You only have a couple days to check out the whole offer. And I'm like, do you not understand the common man, Boeing? Like, they don't. It's so stupid. Who do I think will win the debate? Probably Vance, I would say. I just haven't seen the Tim Walz guy out there so much. I just haven't seen him. I think if I've seen him, I'd be able to make a little bit more of an informed decision. I just have not seen Tim Walz out there. I just haven't seen him, so I really don't know. I've seen JD Vance go on the Sunday morning shows, and those are very biased against conservatives usually, like, MSNBC, CBS, CNN, Face the Nation, those are all very liberal organizations. So I've seen him go on there and, take his hits and, hit back and stuff. So I think he's probably had a little bit more practice about how these moderators are going to do. But then again, if we looked at what happened with the Trump-Kamala debate, those moderators were very one-sided. So if he gets some one-sided help, Tim Walz could be the appeared victor. So, but as far as what I know right now, I'd probably say JD Vance, just because I've seen more of him and I just haven't seen Tim out there in the media too much. Maybe I think this will be a good time for me to see more about him tonight. All right. And hey, I'm happy to see you guys. Let's see. Hey, the Bitcoin realists, have a good rest of your night, my man. Let's pray this trace up continues. I mean, so far we're okay for a bounce. It's just how far does that bounce go and does it continue? I think we're going to need some whale help or some good news. I would love to see JD Vance come out and be like, hey, man, I see Bitcoin's down. Let me put out a statement about Bitcoin and how Trump's coming out with a no tax on crypto for the next 10 years type of shit. And, that's the type of cool little shit. They would probably never do it. But just the fact that they said they would do it would cause Bitcoin to soar. That's what I'm hoping for. But again, it's a little different now. It's a little different. Bitcoin needs to stop crashing on geopolitical news events when gold doesn't. If it wants to be considered a store of value. I don't know, man. Bitcoin's going to be doing that for a while just because of all the money in it right now. I'm looking at gold. Gold is down right now while Bitcoin's up. That's interesting, but I'd say gold hasn't fallen down nearly as much, right? Here's Bitcoin's 15-minute chart. Here's gold's 15-minute chart. Gold is about to start that breakdown here, right? Go to the last few days. Gold had a little bit of a dip, but basically just consolidating after a really nice last few days. Gold is probably still going to make its way back up here to 27.66 and then start to fall. It's been pretty good so far as some of these levels of resistance for us. So far, so good. We started using this back over here, right? Oh, I guess this is on a weekly chart. Yeah, weekly chart. All right, still did pretty well. Oop, I accidentally dragged this. But yeah. Yeah. I still think it has a little bit of ways to go. Bitcoin, I don't know. Bitcoin's been sideways for way, way too long. I'm much more concerned about Bitcoin, though, than gold is. Than I am about gold. I hope he talks about the Haitians pet eating. Oh, God, guys, that was insane. And, I've seen the TikToks of people in the community complaining about it, but then I just see the politicians saying it doesn't exist, so I'm usually going to trust the individuals on the ground that are showing me videos of people like killing geese and shit and the parks and ponds and shit. So yeah, but it's just a shitty situation over there. We don't pay taxes in Algeria. If I make $1 million, it will be all mine. What do you call? I know. we pay a lot of taxes out here in America, despite all the stuff we did to not pay taxes. All right, but that's it, everybody. This is just going to be a shorter stream. I just wanted to give you guys some updates about Bitcoin and whatnot. I'm definitely going to be live later on tonight. I'll do like a phone stream while I'm talking with you guys on my phone. And then if something is happening later tonight, I'll go live. Otherwise, I think I'm just going to go live twice tomorrow because it's going to be Wednesday. And we're going to be going live probably around 12 o'clock tomorrow, then around like maybe 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock tomorrow. Midday will be a short stream because not many of you guys are actually live or like online in the middle of the day. And at night when you guys are more vibrant, of course, I'll be more vibrant as well. So see you guys a little bit later. Sorry for that. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter stream, but go watch that debate. Have a good time. I know Meet Kevin's having one if you want to see something more, asset related, but to me, I'd rather just have the debate playing on the side while I'm doing something else, like for me, smoking a cigar. Then afterwards, I will be streaming with you guys and talking about the debate, all that type of good stuff. But while I'm in the car ride over to Cigar Lounge right now, I got to put some nice pants on. I got shorts on right now. I'll be listening to the debate and seeing what they have to say. So have a good night, everybody, and see you guys in a few hours after this debate's over. Thanks.